Okay, I think we're live a little bit early. Just here because it's important for us to make sure our gear is working. And looks like there's a little bit of a delay on the stream, but that's normal, I guess. And we are here with an entirely new studio set up. So there shouldn't be any more of that clicking and popping, and all of that stuff was part of the browser-based software we were using. It was induced by Firefox, and we switched to Chrome, and it's still troublesome to be doing all that stuff through a browser. So this is more, better live streaming software we're using, and different microphones. So everything probably sounds a little different today, and maybe a little bit more bassy. Who knows? This microphone just works better with Jadon Se's voice. So we are just here a little early to make sure there are not any kinks to work out, since in the past we've burned the first few moments just trying to deal with those things. But so far so good. It seems like everything is working, and we have a new little live chat thing that is functional, I believe. Let's see if it works. Let's see here. Yeah, look at this. Looks like that should be just fine. I put in a really long question just to see if you max out the question length, whether it all fits, and that's what that was. David is wondering what that long question is. That's graphic designers use something called Greek type, and it's everyone calls it lorem ipsum type. It's just Greek. They fill it in for testing things. So, okay, well, we're at 11:09. We'll get started right at 11:11. Greetings to everyone as you are all gathering here. This is lovely. Everything seems to be working. We're going to go ahead and hide the comments for now. Very good. So again, we're just here a little early testing out some new equipment and new capabilities, and yeah. Well, yeah, Michael, your question is, let's just make sure that our questions for Jadon Se on Wednesdays for blessings from a dragon are based on something that the entire assembled participants would be interested in. Let's just try to stay away from anything that's so personal or so specific to some mythology or story that only you know about or only a handful knows about. Or let's just try to keep it for everyone gathered on the Wednesdays. On Saturdays, we're allowing for slightly more personalized questions, just because we're not doing personal readings right now. So your Saturdays will be the appropriate place to ask these questions. We still ask for people to try to keep their questions appropriate to those gathered if possible. Looks like everyone's starting to assemble. We're just here early checking out the equipment, making sure everything's good. And I think it is today. So Stephanie is a little sleepy this morning, so she's going to be lying down, and she might join us at some point. And very good. Okay. Well, let's see. We're at 11:11, so let's get this thing going. And welcome to everyone. This is Blessings from the Dragon. I'm Stephen the Channeler, and Stephanie is taking a little nap and might join us in a little while. We're testing out new equipment. We no longer have this browser-based live streaming. This is something that's native to the machine, so it seems to be better. It seems to be much more solid. So we're hoping that the glitches are behind us. And welcome to everyone. Let's go ahead and call out where we are today in this moment of now. I see we have Margit coming from Tyrol, Austria. I think, apologies if we ever say Australia. Sometimes we read things quickly. And we know that Tyrol, Austria is in the Alps and not down under. So very good. Haydar, good morning to you. I believe you're in Turkey, Anatolia, is it? I believe. And we have, let's see, Groves, Texas, Amsterdam, Netherlands, Price, Utah, London, England is in the house. Yes, indeed. Hadar is in Anatolia, Turkey. Chile is in the house. And beautiful. And we have is it Worcestershire, like Worcestershire sauce? Or that would be Worcestershire. So this is Worcester, Massachusetts, I guess. And we have Faro, probably Faro, Portugal. We have, let's see, I have a little tiny bit of Portuguese, like obrigado and things like that. Let's see, we have Berkeley, California in the house. Florida is in the house. Cape Town, South Africa, Queensland, Australia is in the house. Beautiful. Okay, well, we have a nice little gathering here, and I'm sure people will continue to join. And again, we have new equipment. We're just testing it all out. Folsom, California in the house. Okay, very good. Well, Jadon Se has a lot to say today. Their energies are really shifting, so he's nudging and trying to get in here already. So I may just make room for the dragon and get out of the way and let's get rolling here. So let me drop into channel. I am Jadon Se, Golden Dragon of the Third Arc of Consciousness, and this is let us call it Blessings from the Dragon. Blessings happen every Wednesday, and we do this not only to give out blessings and activations, but to, let us say, prepare those gathered here energetically for what is changing, occurring, and swirling around in your energetic fields, so to speak. There is much going on right now. This golden cosmic dragon doesn't often speak of time-based reality, for it is only an interfacing with your experience in these time-based paradigms, you might say, that it is even useful. So we sometimes translate what we see energetically into something that sounds like this will be happening soon, or this is happening behind the scenes, or so to speak, or in your past. As you well know by now, these are all relating to the story of each of you, and when there are those who are gathered who have such a pronounced, let us say, harmonic resonance of stories and energies, and a harmony of flow, so to speak, that is rather coherent. Let us say that it is only then that we can speak in such a way that it sounds as if we are speaking of what is going to happen soon, etc. And it is very important for you to know right now that there are pronounced changes happening all over your being, this realm of beingness, let us say, 3 and 4D, as humans like to call it, existence. And we will not define these, for you are familiar with this language. And it is right now, there is a very pronounced shift happening. Some of it is celestial alignments, you might say, influences from alignments of stars, and the energies coming from those stories, the greater cosmos, so to speak. And these alignments become, let us say, flow of stories that is heading in a similar direction. There is, let us say, if you look at the flow of beingness as like a river. If a river flows through a narrow canyon, it gets very fast, and lots of, we'll say, rapids and rocks and things and waterfalls and beautiful explosions of energy for the flow coming through this narrow channel. And when the river is wide and shallow, it is still sort of turbulent. And when the river is wide and deep, there is this, it is like a peacefulness to the river. And dear ones, these times you are in right now, let us compare that more to, say, your Grand Canyon. Say the Colorado River flowing through your Grand Canyon, through this deep and narrower channel, and a channel that was indeed carved by the water itself, by the flow of these energies itself. Right now, you are in such a place, if you think of your common energies mingling into a flow or a river. This is only a metaphor and way of seeing. However, it is helpful to understand that these are turbulent times right now, and times where there is a great force gathering in the flow, so to speak, where the force is heading in a very pronounced and energetic direction. And we could speak of the reasons for this, the alignments of your celestial bodies. We could speak of the consciousness alignments happening within you, the growth, the ascension process. We will just say that all of these are aligning for a great flow of energy, a rebalancing of what has been for even hundreds or even thousands of years in your way of reckoning, stuck energies or imbalances. Dear ones, many of you are very aware that a dark age has been ending and a golden age is dawning, and there are, let us say, still energetics that are stuck or out of balance, so to speak, from the darker times, inappropriate happenings, inappropriate, let us say, efforts and agendas from those who have been operating in the shadows of the dark age, who are not willing to let go of their power structures, we will say. The force of this flow of time is dislodging and disrupting these stuck energies, and there is a great cleansing and scouring happening. And dear ones, as with all flows of energy, it happens within first. In the stillness of your being, there are shifts that happen, and these shifts echo out into the external, and sometimes they seem to be greatly amplified in the external. This is, let us say, an illusion. It is just that they are more obvious to you when they become external. Oftentimes what happens beneath the surface seems hidden. It is like you are on a fishing boat and you are not sure if that was a whale passing under the boat or not, or you have this idea that something is stirring below, and it is not until the whale breaches and breaks the surface and you see it in its full glory that it becomes quite obvious and it seems more energetic. Dear ones, it is no more energetic above the water than it is below. It is simply more obvious to you. And right now, this is happening, let us say. There have been changes within each of you, changes in the deeper eddies and currents of society, of your story, the story of this world, and they are coming to the surface and breaking the surface at this time. And before it gets very splashy on the surface, let us say, there is quite a lot of activity just below the surface at this moment, within yourselves and within the rules of the game, so to speak, the house rules of this realm, your laws, your politics, your news cycles, your religious, let us say, gatherings and undertakings, your so many different levels of your, what you call your reality, are, let us say, shifting beneath the surface, and the shifting has been growing more and more pronounced. And those of you who are paying attention to the news of your day know that some energies that have been stuck for a long time are finally shaking loose, so to speak. The flow of this energetic current is breaking loose things that were blocking the flow earlier, let us say. There is a great rushing, almost like a flash flood, you might say, that is dislodging all of the little beaver dams and little logs that were impeding the flow of the river, and things that were stuck on the rocks and whatnot. And we will drop this metaphor of the river for now and just say that these times are energetic times. And between now and your what you call your tomorrow, the alignments, the celestial alignments, and all of the different circumstances that are channeling this energy and focusing it into such great force, will become even more pronounced. And there is let us say the dam is breaking. It is, the waters are forcing their way through now. And there we go with the metaphor again. This dragon cannot help himself with the metaphoric language. It is so much easier to convey deeper ideas this way. Let us say that the log jam is breaking up, and tomorrow will be the height of this. It is already happening in you're seeing, for example, stories of your Epstein files finally being released after being stuck for so long, and all of the things that were gathered up behind that being hidden and not dealt with, and still all of these energetics stuck. This is only barely scratching the surface, dear ones. So much is changing right now. And let us start with what is happening within each of you, for it is what happens within you that opens the gateway for your world to shift and the world stage to be more obvious and visible to you, for the surface to be broken, so to speak. What is happening within each of you is a process that your higher selves, your greater beingness, have charted in. And the reason for this is it is time, dear ones. It is time to fully release. There has been a process, an ongoing process for several months now of unburdening yourselves of inappropriate energies that no longer serve, the burdens and weights that you carry from these past times, these darker times, these more dense times, and more burdensome times, you might say. It is right now that you are at the height of having things brought up and shown to you with the opportunity to release them, to let them go. And yes, if you want to say release, signing a new lease, a lease that includes less of impediments that are on your shoulders, let us say. Dear ones, don't worry about the language of release or signing a lease. Any lease can be very temporary. This is like a month-to-month agreement of a rental agreement, let us say, subject to whatever emerging situations come up, and very flexible and ready for you to be in your full sovereignty, let us say, and for greater freedom and not control. However, let us say greater freedom and sovereignty, the ability to respond. And those of you who have been, let us say, not necessarily fully honest with yourselves about what it is that has been coming up to be shown to you, to be let go of. It is quite natural for habits to have their own inertia, let us say. When you have a habit, say you are quitting smoking, and you know that you wish to quit smoking, and however, whenever someone is around with some cigarettes, there is a part of you that is, oh, it's so easy, they're right there, I could just ask this person for one smoke. And it is like this. There are some of you who are still grappling with these inertias, let us say, habits from the past, the go-to things that used to serve you for a time, for those darker times, and no longer serve in these new energies. You still find yourselves reaching for them reflexively, so to speak, and those of you who are, let us say, a little bit in denial of what it is that would be best for you to unburden yourself from right now. we will say this. The antidote to that is to be the real you. The real, deeper, more divine aspect of you does not need these crutches, does not need these habits, does not need to reach for these, let us say, crutches, things that seemed to ease the suffering in the past. No, dear ones, you are ready to walk on your own 2 feet without any crutches. You are healed enough that it will not be painful or stiff or too, let us say, uncomfortable to walk without these crutches. It is time for you to take a good look at that which you carry in your proverbial backpack. What is it that is weighing you down truly? And for many of you, it is, let us say, a lack of clarity about service to self versus service to others. Many of you are doing what is best for those you care about to the detriment of your own path. And so it is a time for you to take the backpack off, sit down and go through it lovingly. What are you carrying for others that they no longer need you to carry for them, and that it would be more appropriate for them to be carrying for themselves? You can give these things lovingly to them. It does not have to be a plug, throw it on their feet and say, I'm not carrying this anymore for you. No, it can be a loving, I think you are ready now to have this thing that I've been carrying for you, to have it back. It is precious to you, and it is burdensome to me, and so therefore I am lovingly giving this. I have carried it all this way for you, and now it is yours once again. I am grateful and honored to have been able to carry this for you, and now I give it lovingly back to you. This is the energy, dear ones. It is not a shrugging off of what you have been doing for others. It is taking a look. Is it still appropriate to be in your backpack at this time? And for those of you who have been carrying past traumas and, let us say, old specters of the past, ghosts from the past that seem to haunt you from time to time, perhaps it is time to stop hiding from them when they show up, running away or being afraid of them. Maybe it is time to turn and look and say, you are from my past. These challenges, these traumas that seem to be haunting me now, this is from a distant time that is no longer the energetic of today. There is so much more light and beauty coming in, streaming through right now. We no longer need to be afraid of these shadows from the past. And so look at them, thank them, lovingly give them back to eternity. You belong in those other times. I am no longer carrying this in my backpack, this fear of these dark ghosts from the past that rise from time to time, traumatic challenges or things that trigger me or things that I no longer need to face on a daily basis. Even if I am afraid they might come back someday, let us just put them in the past. If they come back, they come back of their own accord, whatever. It is not... let us just say that worrying never did anything positive for anyone. Worrying about the future, and therefore my heart might break again. I might be betrayed again. I might be left and abandoned again, or whatever it is. Let us put those in the past and not call them into our future. Let us, please, unburden ourselves of these consciously. For dear ones, if you stubbornly refuse to take off that backpack and go through it and look at it, you are still carrying that weight. It is very much like you are now headed onto a flight and you are going through the security line and somebody else is going to ask to see the backpack and look through it, put it through an x-ray machine or whatever. And dear ones, if you have knives in there or drugs or something, weapons or inappropriate chemicals or whatever, this checkpoint will not allow these things to pass, and they will be taken from you. Say it is a beautiful pocket knife that you have always loved, dear ones, and it is given to you lovingly by your grandfather, and it is in the backpack, and you go through the security line. They are not going to mail this to you and let you have this thing that your grandfather gave to you. No, dear ones, it will simply be taken, for it is not allowed through this stage gate, this, let us say, this checkpoint. And this is what it is like at this time. Anything that you have not examined and taken responsibility for, that you are carrying, some of these will not be allowed into the golden age. And if they are taken away from you like this, it will cause, let us say, its own kind of damage or grief. I did not wish to lose that special pocket knife that my grandfather gave me. It was so special to me. It was silly that I had it in my backpack when I went through this security checkpoint. This is what we are facing right now. And dear ones, tomorrow is basically walking through that metal detector. It is, you are upon the threshold where that which you carry inside, if it is still present, anything inappropriate that is still present, it is now time where this will come to a head, so to speak. I still do not know where that came from, this saying. This, I'm accessing Stephen's language, and maybe he will explain this to me someday. It is coming to a head. It is going to be somewhat of a conflict if we do not remove it from our backpacks before heading off to the airport. Okay, yes, apparently metaphors are just part and parcel of what this dragon does, and at this level it is fine. Very good. So, starting tomorrow, after passing through this checkpoint, so to speak, it is time to board the flight into this new golden age, and or further into this golden age. Many of you are already walking into this golden age, and this is instead of walking or taking a bicycle or a taxi across town, you are getting ready to get on a jumbo jet, let us say, and flying lovingly towards this beautiful place. This, let us say, it is like a heaven on earth that is coming. And very good. So just know that once you have passed through this, we will just call it a portal, you are then accelerating into the golden age. And what you will see once you get up off of the runway and you see the world from up in the sky, looking out from your airplane windows and whatnot, you will see the world changing, dear ones. So much is going to be happening externally. The whale is breaching through the surface, and you will see this whale in all of its glory, and you will also see all of the barnacles and crab lines and nets that are stuck on the whale. All of this will become very obvious, and dear ones, all of it will be dealt with externally. You will see this Epstein Files release is only scratching the surface of what is coming. Many of you will see heroes falling, previously held heroes who are actually operating in inappropriate ways and abusing their power, and many will see celebrities falling. Many will see this is only the beginning, dear ones. The extent of the old corrupted energies, the old stuck in inappropriate energies, will be more and more revealed. And let us just say, yes, instead of being on a jumbo jet, you are riding on the back of a great dragon. This is much better than a jumbo jet. Yes, especially those ones that are shooting out chemicals and things. This is more of what is coming to light. These chemtrails, these geoengineering, all of these inappropriate things that have been happening for so long, that have been ignored, or society has been in denial about this. These are just examples. Yes, financial systems changing abruptly, dear ones, and for the better, big time. The corrupted, all of the corrupted structures of your society being revealed for the corruptions they carry. Yes, dear ones, this is going to happen in an accelerated fashion starting the day after tomorrow. And hold on to your hats, dear ones, they might say. I doubt many of you are wearing hats. Your Stephen wears the hat, but this is, I think, a saying from the 20s when everyone wore hats, even the ladies. Everyone was wearing something fabulous upon their head. Well, hold on to your hair or whatever it is. Hold on to your eyebrows, because you're going to be moving forward very rapidly to drop away these inappropriate energies. So much will be coming to the surface rapidly, dear ones, that was lurking beneath the surface unseen. And because it is coming to light, so to speak, these inappropriate energies will be dealt with. The dam is breaking and the rush of water is coming through, and it will be a cleansing, clean water, dear ones, a very pure water, washing away all of the gunk and the detritus and all of the different, let us say, the sediments and things that have been not so pleasant and mucky energies will be cleansed and washed through. And this is happening so much, dear ones. It is not even possible for you to understand all of the energies that are clearing and being cleansed right now. For what you see on, even with all of your technologies and your social media and all of that, there is so much noise there. It is hard to see the truth from the noise. And do not worry about it. Do not need to see necessarily which of the sightings of UFOs and starcraft in the skies are real versus all the fake. Excuse me. Stephen is choking on all the fakeness that is out there. It is much better now. We have gotten that out from all of the deep fakes and all of the we will say it, the bullshit that is out there. And it is clearing and cleansing. And dear ones, it is a beautiful time. It is for those of you who are not in denial, who are willing to look at the energies that are no longer appropriate for you to carry. This is a beautiful time. Lovingly give these items back and put them away where they belong. Put that beloved pocket knife into its drawer. You do not need it on this trip. And dear ones, you do not need to leave behind any part of your stories. They are lovingly put in their appropriate places. This is not a loss of any kind. This is simply an appropriate, let us call it like a spring cleaning. It is just getting everything to be where it belongs. And dear ones, this is beautiful. Do not have any fear of this stage gate, this portal, this threshold. It is just part of the journey. And yes, dear ones, for this last little bit, this last day before, let us say, the security checkpoint, please do take a deeper look and make sure that if there is anything that you can deal with more appropriately, deal with it now. It is advisable. It is much easier to do this now than to see the security team taking items out of your backpack. It is as simple as that. And once you are done with this, it is then just to take the journey and to enjoy this journey. You know that you have prepared, you know you are ready, and you are excited about getting on this dragon's back and flying off into this beautiful dawn. And it is, don't worry, the dragon will keep you warm. It doesn't get too cold up there. And his breath will help you, or her breath, depending on your dragon. And you'll be safe and protected and comfortable, and it will be a beautiful journey. And so look forward, dear ones. There is no, let us say, there is no dread that should be associated with any of this if you have done what you can to unburden yourself most appropriately. This is beautiful. And for this, this change that is coming that we have spoken about, just know that anything that comes up that seems to be terrible or frightening or tragic or news that seems very dark and sinister, like very inappropriate things being done with little ones, or any of this, just know that this is necessary to clean these old wounds that have been around for hundreds and even thousands of years, dear ones. Anything that you see that is shocking has been happening beneath the surface all along, and maybe even worse than that. And just know that it coming to the surface is how you deal with it and correct it and clean it and heal from it. So anything that you see that is terrifying or terrible is a blessing in disguise, dear ones. It is a clearing and cleansing. We have used this metaphor before. If you skin your knee, if you fall off a bicycle or something and you get grit and gravel like road rash, they call it, in your knee, and there is grit from the road, you need to get that grit out of the wound for it to heal. And if you leave it in there, it will just fester and get worse and will not heal properly. So this is a process of removing that grit from the wound, removing the gravel and the road grit and grime, whatever. It is painful, it hurts, it is not fun, and just do not let it push you into fear. This is a part, yes, there will be still some pain and suffering going on while these healings occur. And just know that all of these are blessings in disguise. They are all necessary to be cleared and cleansed and healed, and for the appropriateness to be restored and rebalanced and all of that. So, let us review. Be the real you at this time. Be very honest with yourself, true to yourself. Know that great change is coming and is here. It is right here. And that all of this is a blessing. Some of it in disguise, some of it looking like terrifying situations or unrest, things like this. However, this is all necessary, all of it, dear ones. And yes, the golden age, we are no longer just inching along towards it. We are ready to fly, dear ones. And you, dear ones, are, let us say, some of the early flyers, and you will be frequent flyers. And well, we won't go too far with this nonsense. It is, you are the ones who are going to be encouraging those around you to see things positively, to hold their light up higher, to demand that energies that are inappropriate be dealt with, to face the corruption, face the challenges of the day, so to speak, with an optimism. For you, dear ones, can see that this is headed in a good direction, that we are moving into a golden age, and there will be some who think we are just heading into chaos. You will be the ones, the adults in the room, so to speak, the ones who are calm and grounded. And, dear ones, you are tapped into the dragon lines, all of you, and you will be getting so much support through this. Energies from your star families, from the greater cosmos, from the inner realms, from your own higher, greater self, all flowing in positive, beneficial ways, overflowing, you might say. And as your cup is running over like this and overflowing, you can pour some of this positivity into the cups of others, and be the ones that those around you turn to wonder why it is that you are so calm, and why you can even smile in the face of some of these revelations that are to come. Dear ones, this is your service. It is not necessary for you to even be conscious of how you are serving anymore. Just carry your energies forward. Carry your optimism. Deal with what needs to be dealt with in the most appropriate ways you know how, and all will be good, and all is good. Let us further give a blessing now. We are so grateful. Those of us in the dragon realms and in the entire third arc of consciousness see you. We see each of you, and we are in celebration of your contributions to this ascension, each of you making your own, using your own creativity, using your own compassion and joy and laughter and smiles and encouragement, kind words and help and service. All of these different beautiful aspects of each of you are seen and known. Dear ones, you are the heroes of the day. There are many other heroes. It does not mean that our group is any better than others. You are amongst the ones who are ushering in this golden age, and your work is so necessary, dear ones. The energies you carry, the way you are vibrating and resonating with this golden age matters more than you can know from where you stand right now. It is celebrated amongst the cosmos. You are each of you special in your own way, and the dragon realms are celebrating you. Thank you, and let this be a blessing from the entirety of your love-based dragons. Let this be a group blessing for you, that this is coming through the dragon lines, dear ones. So you do not have to be sitting on your favorite dragon rock or whatever. You know how to tap into these dragon energies. Even if you are on an elevator in a high-rise building and don't feel very grounded with Gaia right now, all you have to do is close your eyes and remember the last time you sat in a dragon in place with many potent dragon energies. You can connect immediately with that moment of your now and work the dragon lines. These dragon blessings are coming to you right now. It is a rainbow blessing, for all of the various colored energies and energetics of the dragon realm are coalescing through these dragon lines in a rainbow energy of celebration of who you are and a boosting, dear ones. The wind is at your backs. You are being supported and blessed. Life force is flowing to you. You might even say that each of you is the equivalent of 1 year younger due to this blessing in vitality and health. Do not think of it as rewinding the clock, because maybe a year ago you weren't so healthy. It is like the equivalent of someone who thinks that age is tied to health or whatever, youthing and these mistaken ways of thinking. Just know that this is what many would consider the equivalent of getting a year younger. This blessing helping you return to your prime state. Yes, dear ones. This is a great blessing from the dragons coming through. Let us sit in silence and just tune in for just a moment to the rainbow energies coming from the dragon realms. Onde ekea aleske, uni hea alekistos, Christos kia anstakai andeke, ndi ekasta. Dear ones, if you encounter an energetic in the coming days, it is like the very first light of the morning, an energetic of dawn, of light breaking across the world in the most beautiful and glorious and gentle and encouraging way. There is even one of you who embodies this very energy. You will encounter these blessings, dear ones. It is on the other side of this threshold we are entering. Let us say that there is new support, there is new help. Mm. There are those whose entire reason for being here is the golden age of humanity, heaven on earth, you might say, bringing this light of the morning. It is coming, dear ones, and it is here. Mm. You are not alone. There are many working alongside you who are doing this very same work in their own ways. Many of them working with angels or unicorns or fairies. And you, dear ones, love to work with the dragons, and this is beautiful. And you are supported more than you know. Just know that there are those, your brothers and sisters out there, working with other elementals and energies and magical beings and guides and angels and divine beings. And so much is happening right now to support this. It is very beautiful. We are going to open this up to anyone who wishes to express a thought or request an activation or a blessing for all of those present, or just wishes to add to this some way, some understanding, some sharing of, that is encouraging to those gathered here. We welcome you to come into the chat, and we will try out. Stephen has this new little thing that he can highlight your questions with. He's been geeking out on these things and trying to improve what we do here. So he's ready to play with this. And please bring your questions, your comments, your requests, your ideas, your sharings. We are looking forward to this. Let us see. We will just start by highlighting a few of these. Let us see here. Very good. Thank you for sharing. Your body shivers from this blessing. I am just going to forward some of your thoughts as they come in on the screen. Hopefully you can see them with this. Very good. We are relaying highest regards. We are so many of us doing this sort of work. Very good. Do you feel each other's energies right now? Do you understand that you are working together to usher in these beautiful new times? Is there any sharing now that wishes to come forth, or questions or requests, or are we just going to bask in our little tribe here? Very good. Jadon Se, you mentioned this portal opening on the 20th of November. I feel it now. Yes, dear ones. It is definitely an opening. It is happening. It is already wide open. It is just, let us say we are in the line that leads up to that little checkpoint thing. Are the signs supposed to show when we are not expecting? It is, dear ones, it is very interesting that your expectations set in motion synchronicities that, let us say, uphold and usher in that which you expect. So there is a direct experience that you will have due to your expectations. And then there are also, let us say, things, happenings and understandings that you have charted in that you may not be consciously expecting. So they seem unexpected. Yes, so both, dear ones. Jadon Se, how do connect to our soul? How do we connect to our soul? Dear ones, this is what the common thread is of this dragon's mm, assistance, let us say. It has always got this one thing in common, connecting to your soul, to the higher beingness of self. And this permeates everything that that this golden cosmic dragon brings. And it is very pronounced in the dragon energies classes. It is the one common element in every module of that class, a greater connecting with our own soul and our own beingness, our greater beingness. Very good. Yes. We have all been feeling this, dear ones, and it is an honor to be sharing it with those who are working with these energies. Mm, mm, Let us say we can have a blessing with heavy metals. Very good. Heavy metals are quite literally a burden upon your beingness, and they are heavy energies for a reason. There are densities to them. And yes, dear ones, there are metals throughout the let us say this realm, this kingdom of thingdom, this realm of beingness. There are many metals, and most of them are appropriately dealt with by your Gaia. Most of them are where they need to be, so they are not entering your lungs and your bloodstream and all of this. And then there are other layers. That is the physical outer layer. The let us say when your Romans were making wine in lead-lined casks, and they were taking lead into their bodies, and they all went crazy. And even your Emperor Caligula was like drinking too much lead and went crazy, and then you had a crazy emperor. This is nothing new, dear ones. This had been going on for thousands and thousands of years. Those lead casks in Rome, they did not happen by accident. It was not because of just sheer ignorance. It was a concerted effort to make people weaker and crazy at that time by, you might call them, evil interests, or interests that were not for the highest good. And it is still going on. So let us just have a blessing then. Let this first blessing be that there are the blessing of awareness. There are physical heavy metals entering your physical beingness, and there are heavy energies entering in different layers of your physicality. There is an aspect of your body that is built on belief systems, not only dry mental beliefs, but beliefs that are accompanied with some deep feeling like fear or guilt or anxiety or shame or whatever. There are a good example of this is body shaming of women, and this is a form of the same sort of inappropriate energies, heaviness being, let us say, put upon the female form in a more subtle way. So you have your leads and mercury poisoning and all these different things that happen to your energetic beingness that is physical, and then you have energies that are these heavy energies that are placed upon you. You might call them heaviness that is just inserted into your beingness, like the body shaming. Like any of this sort of shaming, same thing happens with males. It is being ashamed of having feelings or showing your sadness or whatever, having to be the strong man. And these are also heavinesses that are put upon the men. They cannot express or unburden themselves from their deeper feelings, for they're not able to express them because this heaviness was put upon their light bodies. And so this is not only physical, dear ones. All of these heavy energies, heavy metals, it's a good way to, well, for those of you who like heavy metal music, let us not just throw out your beloved songs, but we will say that there is heaviness that is put upon us by those who do not have our highest good in mind. And We wish to cleanse and clear all of this heaviness, and starting with heavy metals on the physical level, dear ones, make choices. There are many things that you can do consciously to improve your health on this level. Your cilantro removes heavy metals. Your dandelion tea helps with these inappropriate, let us say, bioaccumulations. And yes, dear ones, there are so many different ways. There are even those who are lovingly putting groups of herbs together into products that can remove these more effectively when they work together. There is one example. It is a product called Folium that you can find on your Amazon or whatever it is. Folium, I believe it starts with an F. And there are ways you can do this with herbs. Many of your leafy greens, especially cilantro and parsley, and many of your leafy greens are good at removing these. And you can do this by making better choices. And making those better choices is having an influence below the surface level at your deeper energetic belief structure. For when you are making life affirming choices, then you are affirming life. And as you affirm life within you, your dear Stephanie was just observing that love can clear almost anything out of your beingness. More love, more light. The more you bring in laughter and joy and light and love, wisdom of caring and kindness, and even just dancing and happy energies, and singing to your favorite song, whistling as you walk down the street. All of these have an energetic component to them that remove the heaviness on so many different levels. Truly, love is all you need. More love, more light can clear just about anything that is heavy in your system, dear ones. Jadon Se, can you connect your higher self all the time? And thank you for your service. Well, thank you for all of your service, dear ones. Yes, dear ones. It is like learning how to roller skate or ride a bicycle or something. At first, connecting with your higher beingness can seem a little awkward and difficult. And the more you do it, dear ones, the more you get into balance on that bicycle, the more it just becomes second nature. And there is a clue in this: balancing your energies, balancing your masculine, your feminine, balancing your wisdom, just everything, balancing your mental and your feelings based realities, balancing your heart with your mind, balancing your masculine, your feminine, balancing your intuition with your reasoning and your rational thinking and critical thinking skills. All of this, it is always about balance. And dear ones, I think the hound he is not a hound. He is like a little, he looks like a mop head, but he is actually thinks that he is a wolf, and so it is very amusing. Very good. Well, you get the idea. It is all about balance, and the more you do it, the easier it gets. The more conscious effort you make to quiet yourself and listen for that whisper of beautiful voice within you, the more that you are. It is like tuning that radio dial into the perfect channel. All the noise goes away and it gets quiet, and the voice comes through very clearly. This is what it is like. Tune into this higher self. Fine tune the tuning dial until it is second nature to you, dear ones. Is it normal to still feel in an embryo phase at this time, cut off from what was, still not clear on what is next? Dear ones, it is very much like a rebirth in many ways. However, unlike being an embryo who is about to turn into a baby that is then born and naked and taking its first breath and so vulnerable and all that, dear ones, you are not going to come out on the other side of this, let us say, that vulnerable. It is more like you have just shed the heaviness and you are enlightened, and your step will be easier, and your pace will grow because you're just not carrying so much weight anymore, and you will still be basically the same being as you were before. It is just that you will see yourself with fresh eyes, and you will forgive yourself for your past mistakes, and you will unburden yourself of all the weight from all of that you have been carrying. It is like a rebirth, but without having to be a baby again, you might say. You can be innocent and pure like a baby. However, you are not like in this like spongy little body that needs its diaper changed all the time. It is not quite the same, but you get the picture. Let us see. And greetings from South Lake Tahoe, and welcome to the party. You might say it is a party, it is a celebration. And please listen to the recording, because there was some important thoughts coming through and energies. Let us see. I met my toxic ex at Heavenly Valley Resort. Well, there is an irony, yes, indeed. Meeting a toxic person in heaven. Well, it is, hopefully that gave you some sort of compassion. And let us see. How to know for sure if you are good to pass through the detector? Is there a self-check to do to know, is self-test to check that you have dealt with all that you need to let go of before the flight, so to speak? Well, dear ones, your Stephen is satisfied that this long question made it into his little chat box thingy. It is for you to feel into your own heart, dear ones. Is there something that I am still carrying with me that needs to be dealt with, that would be easier right now? And just feel. Your heart will answer. You will know whether or not there is something you need to look at. And if you feel still confused about this, ask directly to your higher beingness, greater self of mine, higher self of mine, Prime Creator, Tao, the Divine. You can insert whatever you wish here. My soul, the soul of me, whatever you wish to do to speak to this greater self, address it lovingly and with whatever comes naturally to you, and then request, please show me what I need to deal with at this time. Please bring it up. Give me a clue. Show me signs. Give me feelings and understandings. Guide me. Dear ones, when you open up to the guidance of your greater self, and the most important part of this opening is then to be a good listener, to be alert to the guidance, because it will come, dear ones. As sure as the sun will rise tomorrow, your guidance comes through when you request it. You can bank on it, so to speak. It is just for you to be alert to the response. Some of it is like a whisper, some of it very subtle, some of it little things that happen throughout the day. Become aware of the guidance. And the more aware you get, the stronger it becomes. And the more you open yourself up and ask for that guidance, you will be amazed. Your life will transform into pure magic, dear ones. And then it will become second nature. For many of you, it already is. You can already call this guidance in. Many of you are. Yes, do that. This is your self-check. Jadon Se, how would the 20th of November best be spent in contemplation and meditation, time spent in nature or studying? Dear ones, each of you needs to answer this question for yourself. What is, let us say, pay extra attention to what you desire, what you feel is appropriate. You might gaze out the window and see some cloud activity and decide, It's better for me to be outside gazing at the clouds right now. Or you might, something might come to your attention. A book you have not read in a long time may seem like it's jumping off the shelf at you. It might be best for you to read that book right now, or to delve into those understandings there. It might, a person might come into your awareness that you haven't spoken with in a while, and it might be best for you to pick up the telephone or some device and contact them. Or better yet, just go over to their house if they are nearby and show up on their doorstep. Follow your own inner guidance, dear ones. This above all else, to yourselves be true, as your Shakespeare says. Be true to what feels correct to you. There is no one prescription for how to spend this time. Feel into it, dear ones. Always, always. You mentioned to focus on ourselves, so to speak. Would you say sharing this information and advices with our loved ones, taking the focus off ourselves, is taking off the focus off ourselves? I believe you are saying. It is. Let us say that you might learn something more about yourself when you are caring and loving someone. Have you ever heard someone say, "The reason I love this beautiful Stephanie is because I love who I am when I'm with her"? Oh, Stephen is saying, "Why are you sharing my personal things?" It is like this. It is, if you feel more in love with your own self because of who you are when you are with this other person, do you see how it is a beautiful reflection? Do you see how you can do both at the same time? If you are loving someone, are you not, by extension, loving a part of yourself, at least the part of you that loves this other? And is this an opportunity for you to grow in some way and love yourself even more? And is this not a way of getting in tune with yourself? Yes, dear ones, mirrors can be distorted. They can get dirty or be like funhouse mirrors that are warped and whatnot. So it is always most advisable to get the clearest picture by turning within. However, that does not mean that all mirrors are not useful. What you see on the outside often can point you to something that you haven't seen on your inside. And vice versa, of course, dear ones. Don't get stuck on this. Just do what is natural to you. May I ask, of what density do you dwell in? Dear ones, dragons, and especially cosmic dragons like this one, are very adept at moving through the various densities. It is like, what is a metaphor that would make sense? A deep sea diver, so to speak. If you have a human who is going to dive down into the depths of the ocean to explore, say there is some ancient sea wreck, and you wish to go and see if there is ancient Spanish gold, like in this shipwreck that is on the bottom of a very deep portion of the ocean, and you have this human who has to put this suit on, and like this deep sea diving suit, and they have some sort of special submarine or something. They can go down and try to find the treasure down there. And dear ones, it feels so dense to the human, and they have such trouble breathing, and they have to be careful how quickly they come back up to the surface and all of this. And then you have an orca who is right next to that human being, and if you could imagine, you could have a telepathic communication with the orca and just say, "Oh, orca, would you go and check and see if there's like some gold down there?" And the orca says, "I'll be right back," and just swims directly down there and checks out the sea wreck. This is what a dragon is like. We can just swim over to any story in the cosmos, any density that we wish, any realm, so to speak. What is a realm? A realm is just the rules of a story. It is the reality system for a story. The dragons can move through any stories, dear ones. We are like the orca. We do not need a special suit for it. And therefore you could say to the orca, do you dwell on the surface? Where do you dwell? And the orca looks at you like, are you silly? I go to the surface, and I go all the way down into very deep places, and I am of the ocean. The orca would say, I'm not of one part of the ocean. I am of the ocean. This is what it is like for a dragon. We move through all of the densities. And I often speak to you from what we call the third arc of consciousness, for it is a perfect bridge, dear ones, for let us say, divine aspects of your beingness to shine through this dragon and be translated into language that is helpful for you and what you are going through now. So, I am coming to you from, let us call it an arc of consciousness that is just, we won't say above and below, but adjacent to the archangels and divine beings that are so close to Prime Creator that they are in many ways indistinguishable from the divine. And so, let us just say I often am speaking to you from there. I hope this helps. Could we receive a blessing to clear any blocks or debris in the heart center and for clearer connection and communication? Each of you right now, just read that question. The question itself is a desire to clear blocks and debris in the heart center and for a clearer connection and communication, ostensibly with your higher, greater beingness and the eternity itself, the eternal one, let us say. And when you look at this question, does a dragon need to respond to it? Was it not the question itself, a greater alignment in this one who asked it with the clearance of any blocks or debris in the heart center and a clearer communication with the greater higher beingness? You have blessed yourself by asking this question, dear one. Do you not feel the alignment within you that had to occur for you to ask for this? Now there, follow this into the next question and the next and the next, and see what happens within you. For every time you ask a question of your higher self through the agency of a cosmic golden dragon, are you not also diving within yourself to ask it directly of your higher, greater self at the same time? It is my great pleasure to reflect this aspect of eternity, the cosmic golden dragon aspect. It is simply a reflection. The question is going in both directions, dear one. Let us say that your asking was itself a blessing, and here is a further blessing. To clear and cleanse blocks or any debris in the heart center, and to clear the way for clearer communication with divinity, we will call it. Here comes your blessing. You will not hear a dragon's breath, for this is what we call a dragon spark. And a dragon spark, it is very similar to when you see someone's eyes twinkling. There is like an energy in their eyes. That is why we say their eyes are sparkling. This dragon has very potent cosmic eyes that can sparkle as well. And there is a dragon spark. Let us say it is descending almost like an ember from a distant fire that is just falling. And it is a dragon spark coming down through a golden shaft of light from the divine realms into your hearts. Those of you who are open to this blessing, any who give permission for this blessing, are receiving a dragon spark into your own heart right now. Just see this golden beam of light, this shaft of light, and this beautiful glimmering, shimmering, sparkling little point that is floating down, almost like a leaf falling from a tree. It is just gracefully gliding down this shaft of light. And when it reaches your heart, each of you will feel a little glow or glimmer, or each of you will feel it in some subtle way when it reaches your heart. Very good. There is your blessing. Are there any other sharings that we wish to bring through? Let us see. So, dragons can bend the rules of densities they move through? Indeed, dear ones, we do not need to bend them. You are only playing by rules that you have agreed to play by, and let us just rephrase again that when you move outside of the rules of a realm that you are in, you are, let us say, seen by some as cheating, for there are rules that they are playing by, and they have agreed to play by, and if you do not abide by those rules, there are many who will not resonate with you, or will not be able to see you correctly anymore, or will maybe even become afraid of you, or it will change your relationship to other beings. This is why dragons, generally speaking, do not prefer to appear physically. We can very easily. This golden cosmic dragon could come to you and appear as a dragon that would make Godzilla look like a little Cupid doll, and I could be, my shoulders could be breaking the atmosphere of this world and be physical and golden and glittery. And, dear ones, this would have such an impact on your world that we prefer not to do it this way. And we could even appear as a dragon that is the size of a, let us say, an Amtrak train or something like this, and just come to that small size and just, let's just say, walk down some avenue in one of your cities, and do you realize what would happen? The National Guard would be called out, and then people would panic and things would happen, and it would not be a positive way to appear. And this golden dragon can appear in any way that I wish to, and it is not always appropriate for me to do this. So if you are asking if we can bend the rules, we are not bound by the rules of any realm, dear ones. We are not bound by them at all. And however, we do not wish to disrespect those who are bound by them, and so we do not wish to jar those who are playing by those rules and make us look like we are cheaters. I hope that clears up some misunderstanding of this. You, dear ones, are also capable of doing this. You just have agreed to forget this. You have agreed to not only play by the rules of your realm, you have agreed to not be too jarring in any awakenings that disturb that, let us say. This is how I perceive the golden dragon. So exciting to know this. That is beautiful. Very good. We are we are honored to be able to bring you dragon sparks. There are even greater blessings that can come through. However, it is best for us to work with that which you are prepared for. And we often use this metaphor of an old school light bulb with too much electricity going through it. And many of your masters who teach breathing techniques, pranayama, things like this, they are also careful not to instruct too much too quickly to the new student working with breath energies. For if you put too much energy through a body, it can do some damage. For the body must work its way up to being able to deal with these energies, so to speak. It is the same with dragon blessings. if we give you too much of a blessing too quickly, it is a shock to the system, so to speak, and it can cause discomfort and even temporary damage, you might say. So for now, dragon sparks are appropriate. Very good. We are at, let us say, just past an hour since we have begun. So we will take one more question, if there is one, or thought, or request for guidance of some sort, before we say good afternoon, good morning, good evening to you. So let us have one more come through here. And as we are just hanging out with this dragon tribe, let us also say that each of you is ready for what is coming. There is not one of you who is, let us say, unprepared for what is happening. Each of you is ready. Could you be even more ready? Well, it all depends. Do you need to bring that charging cable for your phone on this trip or whatever? This is the level at which we are working at this point. There is nothing major. You have not forgotten your underwear or your jacket going into a cold place or something. It is beautiful. You are all very ready, and just make your last minute optimizations for the journey, so to speak. Here is the final question. Does one require DNA upgrades to go through this portal? Dear ones, each of you, whether you know this or not, have had massive DNA shifts made over the course of this last years from your way of reckoning. Each of you has become far more crystalline and less carbon-based. You are still a combination of carbon and crystalline energies, and however, let us just say you are not the same beings you were at the beginning of your 2025 from your way of reckoning, and these upgrades, so to speak, will continue and are continuing. There is so much happening within your energetics right now that is of service to you, of use to you, and the upgrades that you require to go through this portal are complete, dear ones. You are all ready for this. There is no need for any anxiety or fear. You are all ready for this. It is beautiful. We said that would be the last question. There we noticed this one asking about advice on using Ormus for cleansing. Ormus, dear ones, is misunderstood by so many. There are different types of Ormus. And what is Ormus? Let us just say that it started with your alchemy, deeper understandings of what you would call monoatomic gold in some circles, what you would call Ormus energies. Some even call it mana from heaven, referred to in your holy texts. And let us just say that there are many different aspects to your Ormus, you might say, and there are those who are making Ormus from seawater and beautiful life and vital energies that they are harvesting from Gaia, and let us say using practices of hidden wisdom to distill these essences into life force energy. And so there are different understandings of what it is to have this Ormus, and there are different types of Ormus. You might call it different grades of Ormus, and even some of the let us say mineral we will say the right words are not coming through Stephen's vocabulary for this. There are these pyramids that have the Ormus energy made into them through different arrangements of minerals and metals and geometries, you might say, that can come through physically and set up energetic flows through the physical presence of these arrangements. This is yet another type of Ormus, and The deepest Ormus, dear ones, is your own inner transformations, your own inner alchemy, you might say, that happens when you realize more and more deeply that you are a spark of the divine, you are a child of the divine. And as you realize more deeply this is the deepest Ormus, the deepest mana from heaven, you might say, more pure than gold even, this connection you have with the divine. And what does gold symbolize? You can do so many things with it, and when you melt it down, it still remains pure and cannot be corrupted, let us say. You can always return to its purest being state. This is symbolic, dear ones. It is a type of baptism, you might say, that the part of you that is, and it is all of you, but it sometimes seems like it is only a part of you when you are living in illusion. The aspect of you that is divine is like gold. It can be mixed with other things for a time. It can be scattered, diluted, made into dust, scattered, and once it is gathered back up again and melted, it becomes 100% pure again. There is no damage done by any of this, the illusion of separation, the illusion of the scattering. You are pure in your essence. This is the greatest Ormus for you, is your own inner realization of your own divinity, your own pure spark of the divine, and that you are here as a divine being living a human life, not a human trying to find your divinity. The more you understand this, this need for external Ormus falls away, and the inner Ormus comes into being in its greatest purity, let us say. Yes, dear ones, it is so. Your advice, dear one, to use Ormus is realize that this is an outer reflection of what must change within you. And then as you use this outer reflection intentionally to purify your own inner beingness, your own understanding of your higher, greater self connected with this life and coming shining through this life, you might say, the less you will need the outer Ormus, and the more you will find this inner nectar. This the Hindus call this Amrit, divine nectar, Amrita. The more you will have the inner Ormus, and will no longer need this external source. I hope this is helpful to you. Let us have some fun now and shout out where we are in this world right now. It is beautiful to end these gatherings with once again connecting all of the points of this beautiful Gaia together that we are standing and sitting upon and laying upon and dancing upon. So shout out right now, please, where you are at this moment of your now. Los Angeles, California. Beautiful. Let us hear. Where are we? We are in Anatolia, Turkey. This gathering is global, let us say. Utah. Thailand, beautiful. Southeast Asia. We are in Faro, Portugal. We are in London, England, Berkeley, California, Texas, South Lake Tahoe, Tyrol, Austria. Very good. Where are we right now? Call it out. Groves, Texas. Beautiful energies from Queensland, Australia. Worcester, Massachusetts. Amsterdam, Netherlands. Worcester, that sounds like an onomatopoeia, like when a character in a cartoon does something and Worcester, it happened. South Africa, Cape Town, South Africa. Two different South Africans coming through together. Beautiful. Call it out. This is beautiful. Central Texas. And your Stephen is near Mount Shasta, California, up near the Oregon border. Virginia, we have Anatolia, Turkey, with some smiles coming through. And let us just feel these energies. Florida, do you feel the connected grid work that is happening? This is a conscious grid work. You are consciously connecting your dragon lines together by doing this, dear ones. It is, you can feel the energies if you are sensitive. You can feel that Gaia loves this gathering, that Gaia appreciates the energies that you are all moving and we are all moving with our combined, let us say, consciousness in this gathering. Virginia Beach, Virginia. Very well. Thank you very much for this gathering. And it seems that Stephen's new technologies are working out okay, and that hopefully the sound will be good from here on out. And we will look forward to seeing you in the dragon classes and at our next gathering, which is Saturday, for questions for the dragon. Until then, be blessed and get ready. Hold on to your hats, dear ones. This is going to be good in the end.